Another NFC West showdown is on tap for Tuesday, with the Seahawks heading south to take on the LA Rams. What's going on? Jackie Montgomery with your Week 15 game preview. Well, anybody up for Tuesday night football? Well, the big news surrounding this game is that it has been postponed to Tuesday night at 4 p.m. because of a COVID spike around the NFL, particularly with the Rams, who at one point this week had nearly half of their active roster on the COVID-19 list. All right, well, now let's take a look at the 9-4 Rams, who hit a bit of a speed bump since we last saw them in Week 5. The Rams lost 3 straight games in November, but have rebounded with back-to-back wins, most recently securing a huge victory over the division-leading Arizona Cardinals this past Monday night.
We're jumping at it. This is the start of the fourth quarter of this season officially for me. Not for everybody else, but it is for me. I'm kicking in. And this is time for us to put together the culmination of working all year long and getting better and showing it. And regardless of who we're playing a really good team that's had a great win this weekend, and they are against some odds that they were up against. They came through in a great way against the best team that the NFL had to offer, and so we got our hands full, obviously. So we'll see how it goes, but we're heading down to LA.
The last time these two teams faced off in Week 5, quarterback Matthew Stafford threw for a season-high 365 yards. During the Rams' 3-game slump, Stafford put up some of his lowest passer ratings of the season. That said, he's coming off one of his best performances he's had in a Rams uniform, completing 23 of his 30 pass attempts for 287 yards and 3 touchdowns against the Cardinals.
Yeah, they looked amazing Monday night. I think a lot of it too. I think people don't realize how much of an effect Robert Woods had, in that offense, and so it's been hard for them to replace a guy like that. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is Cooper Kupp, and so I think it's just been trying to fill that void. I think you've kind of seen. What he does, obviously he runs great routes, he catches the ball, but he does a lot of dirty work, a lot of stuff up in the middle. And so trying to replace a guy like that obviously has been difficult, and they seem to have figured it out a little bit last game.
The Rams may be without the injured Robert Woods, but they do have 3-time Pro Bowl receiver Odell Beckham Jr., who was added to the team since the last time we faced them. OBJ has scored in each of the last 3 games for the Rams, and he was recently activated from the COVID-19 list and should be available for Tuesday's game.
He's an amazing weapon that you got to be conscious of. So, like I said, he's not going to do all the running over the middle like Robert Woods does, but, he'll run a crazy slant and go because you got to honor his slant. And then as soon as you jump that, then he has the speed and the athleticism to take the top off. So I think they're finding little ways to kind of put him in different spots that maybe Robert Woods had all of it, but they're going to find a way to get him the rock, and he's really good when he gets down the middle. So they'll run a couple over routes with him. They'll use him as kind of a decoy for Cooper Kupp to run underneath. And so it's just another weapon that we got to be conscious of.
Along with Beckham, Stafford still has Cooper Kupp at his disposal. The Eastern Washington product currently leads the NFL with 113 catches, 1,489 receiving yards, and 12 touchdowns.
He's the whole show now. He's a great football player. He's been a great player since the first he stepped into the league. Now, without Robert, they've really had to lean on him, and just more so than ever, but they've always counted on him. Of course, we have Shane here, and Shane's talked about, the factor that he is for them because he does everything. He catches the ball in critical situations. He's all the play passes. He's protecting. He's in the running game everywhere. He's just an enormous positive factor. I don't know that anybody is much more valuable to his team than he is.
Throughout the week, the Rams defense had several players on and off the COVID-19 list, but the Rams still have 6-time All-Pro Aaron Donald up front, who has been a terror for the Seahawks.
He's kind of busting the test of time. He just keeps looking explosive and creative and problematic, and he has such a factor to help other guys play well. That's always been the trait that's always been there. They've been good the whole time he's been there. The whole time we've been there. Did he come to them like when I was still at UOP or something? Because it seems like he's been there forever and he can't get away from the dude, and he just continues to be a great factor. He doesn't look any different at all, is what I'm saying, and he looks as good as ever.
Switching over to Seattle, the defense has made some strides since Week 5 when they gave up 476 total yards to LA. The defense is still giving up more yardage than they would like, but they are keeping teams out of the end zone as the Seahawks defense ranks 5th in the NFL in points allowed. That said, one area they will be focused on this week is trying to take away the crossing routes that gave the Rams a lot of success in the last meeting.
We have to play with some depth. I think that's the biggest thing. I think, with some of their routes that they were running up until that point on film, they weren't running it as deep as they ran it in our game. And so we have to be conscious of those particular routes and, make sure we play a little bit deeper this game, but also be ready to come down and rally to the pass because, do a good job of taking what you give them. If you jump the short one, they'll throw it over your head. If you stay back, they'll take the 5 to 7 yard gain. And so it's one of those games where you're just going to have to be patient and you're going to have to just keep making tackles, then capitalize when they make a mistake.
And finally, let's talk about the COVID-19 list, which remains lengthy for the Rams. This is a fluid situation, and because of new COVID testing protocol, players could be back and able to play Tuesday night. That said, if the team's leading running back and receiver aren't able to go, the team is confident in whomever steps in.
Tyler's been such a great player for us all year long. His consistent presence as a leader and as a playmaker at receiver. It's never going to be just one thing that we'll do. Everyone's got to step up. All the receivers, tight ends, running backs, all the skill positions will have to step up to fill the void if he's unable to go. And, the number one priority for Tyler and everyone in the situation with COVID is health and making sure those guys are healthy, and that's first and foremost. So if that happens to be the case where he's not able to play, everyone's got to rally around each other and step up and fill that void that will be left by him.
All right, well, make sure to tune into this one. Divisional matchups are always exciting, especially with everything leading up to this one. Reminder, kickoff is set for 4 p.m. this Tuesday night. You can watch it live on Fox.